Yo, Hulkamaniacs, it's Thanksgiving night, and this is the happiest time of year for all the maniacs, brother. You know, me and all my little Hulksters, we got a lot of things to be thankful for. Number one, we're thankful for being happy and very healthy. We're thankful for having time to share with our loved ones. We're also thankful that Hulkamania is still the strongest force in the universe. And after the turkey's done, after the blessings are all done, I can tell you what the Hulkster's mostly happy about. It's Survivor Series time, and I'm thankful for my team of Hulkamaniacs.
I'm thankful because I'm rich and you're not.
I'm thankful for having Damien and the DDT.
You know what we're thankful for? We don't have to fight each other.
Oh yeah, I am thankful that I am the only man worthy of being the Macho King. Oh yeah.
I'm thankful for the privilege of living right here in the good old US of A. Tough guy. I'm thankful I've got the big earthquake on my side.
What I'm thankful for Thanksgiving? For my polka dots!
I'm thankful for the judges I serve.
I'm thankful for wrestling, cutting, and strutting.
I'm thankful for my good looks.
I'm thankful for having the most ravishing body in the WWF.
I'm thankful because I ate Ricky Rude.
I am thankful for being the world's smartest man.
I'm thankful for being absolutely perfect.
Yeah, we're thankful for having sardine stuffing in our turkey tonight!
I'm thankful for spending Thanksgiving with all the members of the Heenan family.
Thanksgiving every day, but especially this day, as the Warriors give me the intensity to deliver the power at Survivor Series. It is going to be a war!
Welcome to the Cup of Joe Wrestling Show.
Cup of Joe Wrestling Show?
With Joey Harris. A podcast for the wrestling fan on the go. So take your favorite beverage of choice and join Joey as he takes a look at some of the biggest shows on the WWE Network.
From makeshift studios deep in the heart of stately Maine Manor, this is the Cup of Joe Wrestling Show, and I am your host, Joey Harris. Folks, as you probably surmise from listening to the top of the show, today we are looking at the Survivor Series 1989 from the WWF. And when I think of this show, I automatically think of my good friend Mary Kinney and her mother, Mrs. Johnson. And the reason I say that is that many years ago on fall break, I went with Mary. Mary's from New Jersey. We went to college together and we went back. I went with her home for fall break and had already met her family. They'd come down for different things. And her mother was just a wonderful person. She passed away. It will be 21 years this month. Was a wonderful woman. And we went out, and for some reason I was wearing like a sweatsuit. It was the 90s, and I did not have the greatest fashion sense, but we went to like this flea market, and I'm looking at different videos and things, and I see the video cassette of this show, and her mother's like, "You like wrestling?" I said, "Yes, I do." And she's like, "Let me buy that for you." And I said, No, you don't have to do that." She goes, "No, I want to do that." And while we're waiting for the person who was selling the video cassettes to come over, we were trying to get their attention. This woman comes up and she's selling, I don't know exactly how to describe it. It was like a massage apparatus that would fit in like the palm of your hand. So it was like, I don't know, 4 to 5 inches long, but it was covered with like, it was hard plastic, and it would vibrate, and you were supposed to put it on like a sore muscle, and it was supposed to make you feel good, your sore muscles. And it was weird because it had like hard plastic, like I said, vibrated if you turned it, but like these hard plastic spikes were molded all around it. And it really, like, you're supposed to roll it back and forth, but it didn't feel good. But anyway, this woman comes up behind me and goes, oh, yes. And she puts it, like, on my lower back and then pulls, like I said, I'm wearing a sweatsuit, excuse me. And she pulls the waistband of my sweatsuit down and puts one of these inside my sweatsuit. And she goes, one feels good. And then she grabs, somewhere on her body, she grabs another and puts another one down there and says, two feels so much better. So if one feels good, two feels so much better. And I was just horrified going over this. Just this wonderful woman, my friend's mother, doing something great for me, buying me the Coliseum video of this show. And this woman's putting these hard plastic vibrator things down my pants and telling me if one feels good, two feels so much better. That's the way life goes sometimes, folks, when you're with me. My Twitter bio says I have social anxiety and weird things happen to me. So that's what you get. But this show starts out Survivor Series 1989. It took place Thanksgiving night, November the 23rd, 1989, from the Rosemont Horizon in Rosemont, Illinois, just outside of Chicago. And as you heard, the show begins with some of the wrestlers saying what they are thankful for. And then we get this classic Vince McMahon introduction.
The Survivor Series, a Thanksgiving night tradition. The ultimate in team competition with team captain Ultimate Warrior and Andre the Giant. Join fellow members, the Anvil Jim Neidhart, along with Haku as they join the Rockers and the Brainbusters. It's the Ultimate Warriors against the Heenan family. Team captains Rowdy Roddy Piper and Ravishing Rick Rude join fellow members Superfly Jimmy Snuka and Mr. Perfect, along with the Bushwhackers and the Fabulous Rougeaus. It's Roddy's Rowdies against Rude's Rude. Team captains Hacksaw Jim Duggan and the Macho King Randy Savage join fellow members Rugged Ronnie Garvin and Greg the Hammer Valentine, along with Bret Hart, along with Dino Bravo, Hercules, and the Earthquake. It's the 4x4s against the King's Court. Team captain Dusty Rhodes and the Big Boss Man join fellow members Brutus the Barber Beefcake and Bad News Brown, along with the Red Rooster, Rick Martel, Tito Santana, the Honky Tonk Man. It's the Dream Team versus the Enforcers. Team captains Hulk Hogan and $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase join fellow members Jake the Snake Roberts and Zeus, along with Demolition and the Powers of Pain. It's the Hulkamaniacs versus the $1 Million Team. It's the Survivor Series.
We are then greeted by Gorilla Monsoon and Jesse Ventura, who welcome us to the Rosemont Horizon. Jesse is wearing his usual pilgrim hat and a unique fur/fringe jacket. He makes fun of Gorilla being fat and eating a lot of Thanksgiving food before throwing it to the Fink. And we get directly into our first contest. The Enforcers, the Big Boss Man, Bad News Brown, Rick Martel, and the Honky Tonk Man with Slick and Jimmy Hart versus the Dream Team, Brutus Beefcake, Tito Santana, the Red Rooster, and Dusty Rhodes. Bad News Brown is a replacement for Akeem. They try to get things started. Santana and Honky Tonk Man start. Martel tagged in. Some close calls. The heels get quick tags in. Santana and Martel tag back in. Martel rolls through a roll-up and pins Santana with a handful of tights. A shot of the future Sapphire at ringside cheering Dusty Rhodes on. Rhodes hits a drop kick on Martel. The faces are now doing quick tags. Rooster bites Boss Man to get out of a bear hug. Bad News Brown tagged in. He punishes Rooster for a while before holding him for Boss Man to hit. But Rooster ducks it, and Brown gets hit instead. He pushes Boss Man. The team separates them, but shades of 1988, Bad News Brown takes a hike and gets counted out. Honky Tonk Man pinned after a high knee from Beefcake. Martel pinned after a sunset flip by Beefcake. Rooster pinned after a Boss Man slam. A young Shane McMahon is the outside ref, making sure wrestlers leave after they are eliminated. Bossman slammed by Rhodes, crossbody and pin. Bossman clobbers everybody with the nightstick and handcuffs Rhodes to the ropes and chokes him until Beefcake brings the Clippers out. Survivors, Dusty Rhodes, and Brutus Beefcake. Sean Mooney interviews the Big Boss Man and Slick. They say that Dusty Rhodes is now their prisoner and justice will be served. Mean Gene Okerlund interviews the 4x4s. They all have 2x4s and they say that they will be victorious and ready for anything. The King's Court, Randy Savage, Greg Valentine, Dino Bravo, and the Canadian Earthquake with Queen Sherry and Jimmy Hart versus the 4x4s, Jim Duggan, Bret Hart, Ronnie Garvin, and Hercules. Earthquake is a substitute for Barry Windham, who had left the WWF shortly before this. The Faces clear the ring with their 2x4s. Jesse doesn't like it. Hercules and Valentine start, and Gorilla mentions that it takes Valentine 15 minutes to warm up, so if you're drinking at home, you can take a shot. The crowd loves it when Garvin comes in against Valentine. Garvin chops him hard. Bravo and Hercules now in. Earthquake then in, and he pins Hercules. The Faces finally get Earthquake down. Valentine rolled up, and Garvin gets a 2 count. Quick tags by the heels. Garvin and Valentine open dueling chop houses. Valentine pinned. Savage just bounces around the ring. Garvin does the Garvin stomp on Bravo. Bravo sidewalk slams Garvin to pin him. Hart gets a few 2 counts on Savage. Savage pins Hart after a flying elbow drop. Duggan clears the ring to a big pop. Duggan keeps escaping pins. He goes to the ropes, and Sherry pulls it down, and Duggan gets counted out. The survivors are Randy Savage, Dino Bravo, and the Canadian Earthquake. Duggan clobbers Bravo and Savage with the 2x4. Mean Gene gives us an update on Dusty Rhodes' medical condition. The Genius then reads a Thanksgiving poem. The $1 Million Team, Ted DiBiase, Zeus, and the Powers of Pain, the Warlord and the Barbarian, with Virgil and Mr. Fuji, versus the Hulkamaniacs, Hulk Hogan, Jake Roberts, and Demolition Axe and Smash. The heels don't get entrances, but each member of the Hulkamaniacs gets their own entrance. Hogan's team is not allowed in until Roberts lets Damien out. Zeus wants to start with Hogan. The crowd cheers Hogan to get in. A Hogan chant goes out. Zeus can't seem to be hurt. Zeus pushes the ref away twice and gets disqualified. They have to pull him off of Hogan. DiBiase continues to punish Hogan. Demolition punishes DiBiase when they get in. Quick tags by Demolition. DiBiase comes back. Fuji trips Axe, who gets pinned by the Warlord. Smash pinned by the Barbarian. Warlord punishes Roberts. Heels quick tagging. They keep cutting Roberts off from tagging. He finally tags in Hogan. The Powers of Pain hit the spike pile driver on Hogan, but get disqualified for not getting out of the ring. Jesse is livid and accuses the referee of being in Hogan's pocket. DiBiase has the $1 Million Dream on Hogan, but Roberts saves him. Roberts is then tagged in. Virgil comes in, and Roberts DDTs him. DiBiase uses the opportunity to pin Roberts. Hogan starts his comeback against DiBiase. Double clothesline. Hogan recovers and hits the big boot, leg drop, and gets the pin. Sole survivor, Hulk Hogan. And of course, Hogan must pose. Sean Mooney interviews Randy Savage, Zeus, and Queen Sherry about No Holds Barred, the movie, the match coming up. They say that the cage environment is to their advantage. Mean Gene talks to Brutus Beefcake and Hulk Hogan about the match, No Holds Barred. Hogan unwittingly puts down Beefcake about being short. Queen Sherry comes in and throws powder in their eyes, and Savage and Zeus come in and attack them. We then go to our intermission. Gorilla Monsoon and Jesse Ventura reset for the second half. Jesse has his Abraxas shirt on for the movie that he has made. They talk about the problems that the Heenan family have had lately. This is to cover up for the fact that Tully Blanchard had been fired and is not at the event. Sean Mooney interviews Rude's Brood. They are ready for Roddy's Rowdies. Mean Gene interviews Roddy Piper and his team. They have a turkey and talk about bones. Rude's Brood, Rick Rude, Mr. Perfect, and the fabulous Rougeau brothers Jacques and Raymond, with Jimmy Hart and the Genius, but no Bobby Heenan due to the problems in the family, versus Roddy's Rowdies, Roddy Piper, Jimmy Snuka, and the Bushwhackers Luke and Butch. Perfect and Luke start. Butch comes in, then Piper and Snuka, all biting Perfect. Snuka takes over on Jacques. He pins Jacques after the Superfly. Piper takes over on Perfect. Perfect bumping for the whole team. Piper hits a pile driver and pins Raymond. A Roddy chant goes out. Perfect continues to bump for the whole team. Piper taunts Rude. Perfect pins Butch. Rude tagged in. Luke bites him. Rude pins Luke. Perfect batters Snuka. Rude taunts Piper. The heels cheat to perfection on Snuka. No pun intended. Perfect keeps kicking out of the pin attempts. Piper and Rude finally in at the same time. They tumble out and fight down the aisle and are both counted out. Perfect attacks Snuka, back and forth. Perfect pins Snuka with the Perfect Plex. Snuka attacks the Genius and Perfect. Sole survivor, Mr. Perfect. This is the great way to end this match. You keep Kurt Hennig strong and has his perfect record still, plus keeping the Rude Piper issue going with the double count out to keep both men strong. Sean Mooney interviews Rude's Brood. Rick Rude tells him it's none of his business where Bobby Heenan is. Mean Gene interviews the Ultimate Warriors. They all need decaf. Don't try to understand and make sense of the Ultimate Warrior at this point, folks. The Heenan family, Andre the Giant, Haku, Arn Anderson, and Bobby Heenan versus the Ultimate Warriors. The Ultimate Warrior, Jim Neidhart, and the Rockers, Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty. Andre attacks the Rockers before the Warrior even comes out. Warrior comes in and knocks Andre out, so he gets counted out. A Weasel chant goes out. Crescent kick from Haku eliminates Neidhart. Haku and Warrior go at it. Jannetty beaten down, but Heenan tagged in and pins him. Anderson begging off from Warrior. Haku pinned by a big crossbody from Michaels. Anderson and Heenan argue. Heenan doesn't want in there at all. Anderson hits a big spine buster on Michaels and pins him. Warrior thrown out by Anderson. Heenan tags in and out. Anderson gorilla pressed and slammed and pinned by Warrior. Heenan shocked. He's thrown all around. Warrior won't let him leave. Warrior hits the flying tackle and pins Heenan. Sole survivor, the Ultimate Warrior. They plug No Holds Barred again and sign off from the Rosemont. Hey folks, if you like the show, please leave a review in iTunes, Apple Podcasts, or your podcast platform of choice. There are a number of ways that you can contact me. You can follow the show's Twitter at CupOfJoePod. You can email the show at cupofjoewrestlingshow@gmail.com. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at TheJoeyHarris. Thank you for joining me this week. This is Joey Harris saying so long from Stately Main Manor.
The Cup of Joe Wrestling Show is a production of Baby Kangaroo Media.